Book 101 review. Book 101 is all about the books that I read for the last 40 years. And today I have my special guest. He is a passionate finance guy turned social commerce entrepreneur, founder of Criteria, a former finance guy, and turned to a social commerce entrepreneur. No other than Mr. Nathan Mcfarlane.
My God. Hey, Daniel, how are you doing? You all right?
Welcome to Book 101, Mr. Nathan. And can you please introduce more about yourself?
Yeah. So I'm Nathan Mcfarlane. Worked in finance for over a decade. Realized quite quickly I didn't like the way the financial system worked. So I started creating content online about finance, authentically telling people about how the financial system works and how it essentially is screwing you. Realized quite quickly that, unfortunately, I was trying to solve the problem by being authentic, and I realized I couldn't make any kind of living by doing it that way. So we come up with the idea to create a platform which gives people the opportunity to speak authentically by creating content, and then having the ability to monetize through that content and through the value of the people you bring to our application. So yeah, that's my thing. I'm into educating through finance, politics, economics. That's my kind of niche, but the goal is obviously to be able to give everyone that opportunity through our social commerce application.
Mr. Nathan Mcfarlane, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world. And today, let's talk about the social commerce and future of finance. How would you define social commerce and what makes distinct from traditional e-commerce?
Well, traditionally, people you would use to, when they're looking for a product or service, they would go on to Google, they would search what they're looking for, and by searching through Google, or they could go to Amazon and search directly for an e-commerce provider. The trend, particularly over the last 5 years, is actually particularly with the younger generation, is to search through videos. So you've got other social platforms, short video platforms, which are out there already, where people are looking specifically for a product, a service. They may be where they're going on their holidays. It might be, a attraction they want to see, and they're actually searching for those videos first before then looking to make a purchase. Now, in some countries, that is now starting to become solutions to do that via those short form video apps. But we decided to create a platform where everyone has the opportunity to do that directly through every video, through thousands of products, thousands of solutions. But not just that. The key focus for us was ensuring that, rather than utilizing the existing advertising model, we could drive users value from the people they already know. So we really wanted to make it community based. Whereas traditionally with the platforms you see at the moment, it's still all about this advertising model: advertise. So essentially, what people don't realize, what's occurring when a platform uses an advertising model, is that they're extracting the value out of your following through those companies that are paying for the advertising. So we've flipped it on its head in that respect, to be able to ensure that the people that use the site have the ability to earn off that as well.
Mr. Nathan, let's talk about your new app. What's the big difference of your app to, leading app right now?
Yeah, I think it's exactly that. Is that the advertising model that is used by the major social media platforms, without people knowing, is extracting the value of what you provide to the platform. So, for example, trillions of dollars flow through the US corporation's advertising model at any given time. So that might be, your search engines, your social media platforms, your e-commerce platforms. So all the money funnels to the top, and then it trickles back down to the people before going to the top and moving between each of the different corporations. So the value is actually kept at the top, not with the people. So what we're trying to do by not using that advertising model is take the value to the bottom, to the people, so that they extract more value, more of the money from the transactions, and then can use that inside our ecosystem. So essentially, it's we're not operating traditionally like a typical corporation would, where that corporation is trying to maximize what value it can extract and earn. We want to give it to the people, and then by having that the value inside our system, that can then be used inside our system rather than externally going back out to the existing financial system.
Interesting indeed, Mr. Nathan. And what role do social media platforms play in shaping the future of financial transactions?
Well, the way that I see it is that people talk about super apps. So I've lived in Dubai for the last 10 years, and our super app is essentially a place where you can do your shopping, you can book a taxi, you can do everything all in one place for your purchases. But the statistics say, at least in Dubai, where I've been living, on average, a user spends 22 minutes a day on a super app. So whether that's they buy their groceries, they get a takeout, whatever. But on average, they spend 2 hours and 58 minutes a day on social media. So to me, the super apps that are currently classed super apps are not super apps. The social media platforms are the super apps because it's where the attention is. And if you can create an ecosystem where the users are put first, where everyone can earn inside that ecosystem, then they have the opportunity to be able to utilize the social media platform as a super app for all the services they would have currently used outside with a different application.
And Mr. Nathan, how are business leveraging social commerce to enhance customer engagement and trust?
I think the reality is people trust people more than they do ads. So, like, if I'm this realistic, this whole idea came from the back of authenticity. Like, I didn't like the financial system. I realized it was screwing over every person. I realized that the system was built in a way not to benefit the people. So I started creating authentic content, and that's what people wanted to see. It's just that it was more difficult for me to monetize by being authentic. So we're living in what I call the era of authenticity. It's what people don't want BS. They don't want the system that we've created over the last 100 years. It's been built in this way of actual deception in some capacity, just to drive people towards being able to monetize for themselves. The system's rigged, so people have kind of clicked onto that, and now we're shifting where the financial system is going. People want to see authenticity, people want to see truth, people trust people rather than trusting a created advertisement, because the created advertisement is not authentic. It's something that's created fake. So if people can see real people, whether they are promoting a product, whether they're promoting a service, or whether actually they're just kind of saying, look, this is what I'm doing. I'm reading this book and it's great. And okay, we'll take the book. And then people are more likely to purchase from a person that's being authentic and actually giving the truth rather than a created advertisement to promote a product. And I think that's what, why and more the statistics show that people are going to short form content to search for products and services, because people buy from people, people buy from authenticity, and that's what we're obviously pushing with our application.
Mr. Nathan, what are your vision and mission of your app, Clipsy?
This is slightly different. So I want to raise the collective consciousness of humanity. Now that doesn't really fit into what I just said there with social commerce application.
Okay.
How does it fit into that? It all links back to authenticity. Like, I want everyone to live from truth. Like, I think the existing financial system is BS. I think the political systems we live in right now are BS. I think the reality is the systems that we've created are coming to an end, and what we've found ourselves is further and further away from the divine. We've lost all connection with what is truly ourselves and what we truly are, in exchange for this consumer driven world. Now, okay, we're building a consumer app, right? But we're
Yep.
building it in a way where we want people to just be honest. So we're not driven by this idea of, oh, profit is our number one thing. And that's what essentially the system has been driven to do, particularly over the last 50 years. For us, it's about, no, we want people to be honest about everything on our platform. We want truth on our platform, and then that will shine through with everything else that our users have and live throughout their lives. I just think that by creating a platform which really encourages authenticity and hence truth, and that goes out to millions and millions of people, it encourages a different type of world moving forward, where people are living from a better place. I think that's the easiest way of describing it. That's my mission, so to speak.
So, Mr. Nathan, what do you think Clipsy after 20 years?
20 years, it's a long way away. I would like to say that I've been able to positively affect the world, raising the vibrational frequency of a large amount of people.
Do you think you are the next founder of a big social media?
I mean, I always say, and I genuinely believe, if we believe that this is going to work substantially, and if it works to even 1% of what we believe it can do, it's going to be a very, very large platform. That's all we say at this stage. I'm not one to go and say, "Oh, I'm going to be a billionaire." I'm not. I don't buy into any of that BS. On the way the existing VC model works, and the way companies are artificially bumped up with the values just to fit into a system. We don't really buy into any of that. Do we believe we can make a difference? Do we believe we can reach a lot of people? Do we believe it's going to be a large platform? Absolutely, yes, we do.
Very well said, Mr. Nathan. We salute for your advocacy. And how are technologies like AI and machine learning being utilized in social commerce to personalize financial offerings?
Yeah, good one. So I think the application will constantly evolve utilizing AI and machine learning. So from a machine learning perspective, the more things you do, the more you use the application, the more we understand what you like. So therefore, that we can point you into the direction of listening and speaking to the people that, the audience that you want to listen to, and then potentially they can then offer you products and services that are more suited to you. From an AI perspective, what I foresee is that literally eventually you create any video, the video will eventually be able to know exactly what's inside the video. So you can see inside in the video of me right now, there's curtains, there's a lamp, there's a picture frame that the technology will be able to understand exactly what lamp that is, what picture frame that is, what curtains they are, and essentially you'll be able to, utilize that technology to be able to purchase whatever's inside that video at any given time. That's where I see it going. Whether or not what level that technology is right now, but over the next few years, that's where I foresee that AI will get to a point where it will be, we'll know everything in the picture that much. It's already here, to be honest. But be able to recognize exactly what product that is, what's, or potentially what service that is, and tag that immediately. So I think then you're looking at, why would you use the typical search engines? Or the search engines will be used far less. Obviously, we're already seeing people move more and more towards utilizing, things like ChatGPT to search and ask questions. And I think from a video-based perspective, you're going to see the same thing.
Definitely. So, what are the biggest challenges business face when integrating financial services into social commerce platforms?
Regulation. Every country has different regulations. Um, and because we're in this shift of a financial system right now, we've actually kind of slowed our roadmap down in some capacity, and based on where we think the financial system is going to go. And a lot of that is going to, I think, is going to come to fruition in the next sort of 6 to 12 months, where instant payments are going to be just a norm in all over the world. Instant transactions, you'll be able to get paid immediately on any product or service you do instantly. But that's going to take time to get those regulations in place in every country. So we live in what we call a Web 2 world now, where payments are done through bank accounts or Visa or MasterCard, your debit, credit cards. If you have a digital wallet in any kind of way inside our platforms, then, and you're holding essentially customer money, then that normally means you fall into a different regulation per country. So the functionality is limited in what you can and cannot do based on the countries that you enter with the regulatory licenses that you have. So, essentially, even though we're building a social commerce applications, which is driven by videos and e-commerce, which generally aren't really highly regulated arenas. The moment you add finance into that, potentially a digital wallet into that web, you're potentially holding customer funds. You're really taking yourself into the fintech financial world, which is my world, but it comes with different problems in regards to regulation, paid up capital. So that essentially is a barrier to entry, unless obviously you've got the millions and millions of dollars maybe required to be able to enter markets simultaneously.
Mr. Nathan, how can social commerce platforms balance user experience with secure financial transactions?
Well, what we want to create is essentially an ecosystem where every person has a digital wallet, and what that means is you don't need to go anywhere else. So if everyone has a digital wallet inside the ecosystem, and we've got the regulatory requirements to be able to do that, then essentially the goal is to be in a position where everyone uses us for the everything app, for everything that we have. To get to that, obviously you have to have a level of trust, but if we're creating an ecosystem which is giving the value back to the people rather than the existing advertising model, then there is already a much larger amount of trust, because you're giving money to creators which otherwise wouldn't have had it. Ask yourself the question: when your mum, your dad, your sister, your brother, your friend buys anything online, do you earn any money?
No.
And the answer is no, right? You don't. But
No.
with us, you do. So, we want to transfer the value to communities, to the people. And that's part of the reason why our primary markets, I know you're based in Canada, our primary markets where we want to work with this is in the Southeast Asia. So we're launching in the Philippines. We're also looking into Indonesia, Malaysia, Vietnam, Thailand. They're going to be our primary markets, largely because communities are not fractured. If you come here in the Philippines, and you yourself, you're originally from the Philippines, right? If you sit around a table, you're sat with mum, dad, sister, brother, auntie, brother, sister, neighbors. There's community, and what we want to do is create an online transaction, ecosystem where the community pays the community. Whereas traditionally, what happens right now is that there's a massive fracture between individuals making purchases. Even if you're sat there around the table, the moment you start using your smartphone, and that's we can sit around the table now. Everyone's on their smartphone sometimes, right? You've
Yes.
you're already inside the system of giving money away to the corporations. So we think, well, that money that's gone to the corporations, that $1, $2, $3, $4, $5 that's gone to them on a daily basis, that could go to your community, and you can hold on to that. That's a lot of money to potentially countries where earning an extra $5 or $10 a day could be the difference between feeding your family or not. So we've got a much kind of we want to stick in an ecosystem where communities aren't fractured. Unfortunately, in the West, the US, Canada, Europe, relationships are fractured. Trying to refer your mum, your dad, your sister, your brother, your friends to actually join you inside a system which is going to benefit everyone. It's actually very difficult, or it's more difficult at least. And that's largely driven to the growth in the corporate systems that are in place inside the Western world. But we think the future of the world is the global South, Southeast Asia, and we want to ensure that we can have an impact on ensuring that the systems for the next 50 years are in place which benefit the people, not corporations. Because at the end of the day, corporations, where does the word come from? Corpse, dead entity.
Yes.
So currently we give our money to dead entities to leave. So all the money stays with the dead entity whilst the people don't have the money. Tell me how backwards that is. It's ridiculously
Definitely.
backwards. It's stupid. It just doesn't make any sense. We've been fooled into thinking that this is the way that the system should work, and they shouldn't. If we're going to continue to have the financial system we have, the current way we have it, which is what we have right now, the breadcrumbs have to be put in place to be able to shift the value and the purchasing power back to the people, away from these dead entities, and that's what we're aiming to do.
Mr. Nathan, really a nice move. We salute you for empowering people all over the world. And before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast, people. My other podcast, because my abstract essay is already in fifth season, abstract poetry in second season, and my book 101 review in fifth season too. Comedy 101 in second season, and my food 101 in fifth season as well. Geography 101 in fourth season, and my baby podcast Law 101 and Mental Health 101 Love Letters in third season, and Movie 101 Review and Music 101 in fourth season, and Science 101 and Sex 101 in its first season. Please listen to them wherever you listen your podcast. So, Mr. Nathan, what trends in social commerce do you believe will have the most significant impact on the future of finance?
I think people will more search for what they want through the people that they know, and people that they trust, and that trend's already occurring. I think you're going to see the end, or towards the end, of the existing Web2 search engine model, and people will search directly through either a AI type engine like ChatGPT, or through the time where they spend most of their time viewing, which is on social media. So I believe traditionally social media initially was more about the communication between others. That's how it started. Like when Facebook started, it's like, oh, friends, you become friends. Now it's not like that. People just observe, and they're observing, but they want to observe people that they trust. And I think that's the thing that we're going to continue to see, is that more and more of the economic e-commerce driven activity is going to be directed through social media rather than the traditional search engines.
Mr. Nathan Mcfarlane, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world. So can you please invite our listeners to support your advocacy, your business, or whatever projects that you're doing right now?
Yeah, I mean, we recently changed our name to Clipsy.app, so let's see you there.
Yes, people, let's support Mr. Nathan Mcfarlane, because if you support him, for sure, more and more and more empowering clips you to come. So, Mr. Nathan, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate it.
More to come, people. See you soon.